YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with my NFL Week 3 locks of the week. Doing this video every single week, and we're looking at straight up locks, spread locks, over-under, upsets of the week. Plenty to go over here. I'd also recommend checking out our most recent video, which is score predictions on every single game. Do that video every single week as well. We do have extra content available on our Patreon, patreon.com/thegoathouse. You can get all kinds of stuff. Go ahead and check it out for more info. And then subscriber goal is at 40K by the end of this year. Please help us out by subscribing. We got you covered with full NFL content during the season and off season. Recaps, power rankings, straight up picks, score predictions, lock videos, players of the week, and plenty more. Let's get on to the locks. Locks of the week. So it's pretty easy here with the straight up locks. You can go Patriots over the Jets and the Cowboys over the Dolphins. I mean, it's kind of cheap this year, with some of these easy picks, free wins. They should be free wins. I'd be shocked if I had to pick one of these. I feel like the Patriots are more guaranteed to win. They're the better team, and the Jets with down to the third string quarterback. I mean, this is the obvious thing, So I went with another one here just to make things interesting, and I went with the Minnesota Vikings against the Raiders. I think the Vikings have a bounce back game. They were looking good, looked pretty bad in the first quarter against the Packers. Then after that, they were really heating up. And the whole team played great except for Kirk Cousins, obviously, at the end. I think he has a bounce-back game. They're home. They're a much different team at home. The Raiders couldn't even get anything going against the Chiefs' defense, which is a problem. So how are they going to be in this game? A couple guys are beat up. I like the Vikings as my, outside-the-box, straight-up lock, other than the two obvious ones. So I actually got three of them for you guys today. And now we'll take a look at some spread picks of mine. And I like the Patriots. Bring the Patriots back up again. I usually have a rule of not taking anybody favored by this amount, usually above 15, just a no, for sure don't do. But I just don't see any way. I don't know how the Patriots win by, I'd say, I know 24 is cutting it close, but I would say that's the very, very least they win by. I don't understand. Even if Stidham comes in, the Jets having a bunch of guys or some guys sitting out, and then especially having Luke Falcon, their third-string quarterback who has really no experience. He was drafted by the Tennessee Titans and couldn't even make that team when they were desperate for a backup quarterback at the time last year. Don't forget, he couldn't even make that team. So, I don't really see the Jets scoring any points. Maybe they get lucky on a field goal or a touchdown. And, the Patriots will score. If you check out my score predictions, I have them scoring 30 points. So I just don't see how they wouldn't be able to cover that. So that line keeps flipping back between 21.5, 22, 22.5. Seen it at 23 actually at some places. But I just don't see how they wouldn't be able to do that. I really don't. Another spread pick. I got the Lions plus 6.5. I actually picked the Lions to win the game. A little bit of an upset. I would feel much more confident if it's just a 0.5 more at 7. Because if they do lose, maybe it's by a touchdown maximum. But I'm thinking it's a field goal game. They win or lose by that amount or lower. I just think I really like their defense. They could cause some problems. I mean, Wentz will still get the ball in the end zone, but could cause a little bit of a problem there. He struggled against the Falcons defense. Really like this Lions defense with their blitz packages, their disguises. And I think their offense, I think they'll be able to throw the ball downfield on the Eagles. I just don't see why not. Eagles are also a little beat up. Some guys out, some guys going in and out during games. So I like the Lions plus 6.5. If that goes to 7, I absolutely love that one. So we'll see. Lions looking pretty good so far. Eagles look good in the second half against the Redskins. Look good in the fourth quarter against the Falcons. I want to see more of the Eagles. Another one, I like the Seahawks minus 4. This one is a little tricky because I guess the Saints can get tricky. The Seahawks don't have a bunch of game plan on Teddy Bridgewater plus Taysom Hill. I'm expecting them to use Taysom Hill. They get creative with Taysom Hill a little more. So that would be the only reason to be, scared of this one. But the Seahawks defense, I don't see the Saints putting up a bunch of points. And I think Russell Wilson has himself a game here. I haven't been too impressed with the Saints secondary. As soon as the ball gets there, they struggle to tackle or get proper angles. So I think the Seahawks could run it up here on the Saints. Minus 4. I think they'll win by at least a touchdown here. But the only thing, like I said, is the Saints can get tricky where the Seahawks do not expect what's coming. And then the next game, I like for an over-under, I like the under, even though it's pretty low at 39 for the Titans and Jags. I like the under last week, which worked out on the Bears-Broncos, and I think this is a similar game. This could be a very low scoring game. You seen last year the Titans really on Thursday night really gave it to the Jags, but I think a little different game. I think a little bit different. I think it's closer. I do like the Titans in this game, but I think it's closer. Titans offense didn't look so hot last week, but their defense is legit, and the Jags held the Texans offense to very little points, and them only losing by 1 in the Texans offense. We know how good that is. So I expect low scoring. Should be a good, especially being in Jacksonville. Tennessee, I think, is the better team, especially with Nick Foles out and some injuries for Jacksonville and the whole Jalen Ramsey situation, even though he's playing. If it was in Tennessee, I'd be scared, but it's in Jacksonville. I think it makes it closer, makes it low scoring. You can check out my score predictions. I have that under 39, well under 39 there. So I like the under on that. And over that I like is the Browns and the Rams. Kind of a gut feeling that the Browns kind of, not a full breakout, but somewhat breakout on offense here. I think they get going. I think Baker gets going in this game. I think he has a really good game. I think Chubb can have a good game too. Obviously Odell. I just think the offense in general is going to be, kind of closer to what we expected, closer to what last year, not fully there. I do have the Rams winning the game, but in a close one, I think the Rams offense will obviously be explosive too. 48.5, I think is low. There is some risk because the Browns offense hasn't been totally there and they haven't even quite played a team like the Rams yet. So that's where the risk comes in. But I do like this to be a high scoring game. I had it much higher than 48.5 in my score prediction video, which I predict the score before I see any lines or over-unders on the game. And then the last one here, my upset of the week, we kind of touched on already. The only underdog, the serious underdog that I have winning is the Lions. I know they're away. They've looked good. I think the only reason the tie happened against the Cardinals is because they got conservative on offense. They may have learned their lesson, and there was a bad timeout called, if you remember, by the offensive coordinator. He shouldn't have done it. So the fluky stuff, I don't think it happens. And the Eagles got some guys beat up. I like the Lions. It's an upset of the week. Obviously the Eagles are favored because they're the better team, expected to be the better team. But that was one of the upsets I went with. I'm still learning about the Lions, but so far they impressed me. When I keep hyping the Lions up, in no way am I predicting the outcome of their whole year by what I've seen. I'm just saying so far, the defense, the disguises, the blitz packages have impressed me. Stafford's really the only thing that hasn't impressed me on that team, honestly. He's got to take care of the ball a little better. I think he can throw the ball downfield against this Eagles team. I really do. And he has the weapons. He has the weapons in Golladay, Marvin Jones, TJ Hawkinson, Kerryon Johnson. They have multiple guys that can play here, so no more excuses for him. I think they should be able to score, but I think Wentz is still kind of getting back in his groove. He was about to have an MVP, did have an MVP type season before he got hurt. Hasn't really been the same since. Has had some minor injuries since. Even seen him holding his ribs last week. So kind of all that combined, coming back from an injury and having some injuries here and there. He's still trying to get his groove back. I think that'll kind of happen as the season goes on. As long as he stays healthy, I think he'll continue to get better. We're still early in the season, so he could have a little struggle, not to have a bad game or anything like that. I just think still trying to get his groove back. That's kind of all those reasons kind of go into my Lions pick, but it is an upset, so we will see. But that's my locks of the week. We do this video every single week along with straight up picks with the Goat House members, score predictions with myself on every single game. We do players of the week with some game film breakdown. We got recaps. We got power rankings updated every week. All that's on the channel by now. So go ahead and check it out. Check out our Patreon if you want extra content. There's even more there. That's going to do it for this one. Thanks everyone for the support. It's been awesome. Thanks for watching this video, and goodbye.